Hey everyone, it's Asia Dang. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. Not gonna lie, this is the second time I'm filming this budget video because I didn't turn my microphone on. So mic check 1, 2. I've been really frustrated over the past couple months because April to May, May to June, I haven't been paid in over a month, so 30-day periods. I think from April to May, I wasn't paid. Think I got a paycheck on like the 36th day, and from May to June I didn't get paid until like the 33rd day. And it's really frustrating. Again, that's something I've anticipated, and I never leave my bank account balance at zero. I always give myself a good little cushion to where I at least have money for rent. Thankfully, I have that because we were getting a little tight, people. It was actually very, very scary. And I never thought I would feel that scariness again, because it's actually been a good long time, because I've been working hard, I've been responsible with my money, and I've been working with brands who pay me on time. However, the feeling that I've had over the past 2 months about not being able to afford rent again was just not fun at all. And it's actually beginning to make me mad because it's at no fault of my own. Before I started this journey, I just wasn't working enough. I wasn't really motivated. I was kind of lazy. So when I didn't have money for rent, that was on me. But now I work really hard. And in fact, it's 4th of July and I'm working now. And I worked until like 12:30 last night, and I'm still going to have to come home after we go to the movies and walk the dogs and work. So I'm working hard. And the fact that there are brands out there that aren't respecting our work, and I'm saying this is our work because I know I'm not the only one that doesn't get paid on time, is upsetting. In fact, I'm still waiting for payment from 2017, and I'm going to call out the brand ASICS. You owe me 10,000 motherfucking dollars. And we have a lawyer on it, but the PR company that they used to work with me, I think, went bankrupt. So the PR company can't pay me. So I don't know how that situation's going to work out. I feel like I'm just never going to see that money, which makes me mad because $10,000 could change my life. Right now, if I got that money, it would go straight to my student loans, and that would mean that I would have $30,000 left to pay off my debt. I think I'm going to cry because it's making me really upset. But that's just something that I've been dealing with over the past couple months. But it's upsetting. I worked a lot in June and I'm working a lot in July. So I'm hoping that things will start to pick up again and that brands will honor the contracts that we signed. But, it is what it is. When you're freelance, that's the risk that you take. There's pros and cons about freelance. You work from home, you work at your own schedule, you can work from anywhere, but it's really hard to get paid sometime. And I was just having this conversation with someone who's a blogger, and it's just not a me thing. It's like a freelance issue in general. So I wish there was a way that we could be guaranteed to be paid after our work, but there isn't sometimes. And speaking of freelance life, let's talk about health insurance. Normally when you freelance, you don't get health insurance. That's something that you have to get on your own. I get health insurance, thankfully, through SAG, which is my commercial and print union. So when I do commercials, works for Toyota and stuff, not from Asia Dang, but as an actor, then I get the benefits of having health insurance. And I did a whole video about my various incomes. If you wanted to check out exactly what the difference between commercial work and influencer work is, you can check that video out. But I haven't gotten a SAG commercial in over a year, which is a real bummer. And now I am at risk of losing my health insurance through them. I actually just paid in July. You can see it in my budget. A continuation of my health insurance, but that's only going to last for the next 15 months. So fingers crossed, everyone. I need to get a SAG commercial, specifically SAG, not non-union, so I can hold on to my health insurance, because it's actually very, very good health insurance. And if that doesn't happen, then I'm going to have to find health insurance on my own, and that is a fucking bummer. I just launched a podcast actually yesterday with my girlfriend Laura. It's called Heavy Topics with Lightweights. And in episode 4, we talked to a 26-year-old breast cancer survivor. We talk about health insurance and how it's like totally fucked up and impossible to know what's right, and how it's so unbelievably unaffordable. And we talk about universal health care and all that stuff. So after that conversation, I'm definitely not looking forward or hoping that I don't lose my health insurance, because it is a fucking bummer. Last budget video, I mentioned that Lukey got surgery. Everything is okay now. I did mention that he totally wiped out our dog's savings funds, because I have my own savings funds, or emergency fund I should say, and I built up an emergency fund for the dogs. Luckily we had it. Unfortunately, he wiped it all out. But with our pet insurance, we actually got about 95% of what we paid back. So I'm really grateful for that. And I get a lot of questions as to if I have pet insurance and if I think it's worth it. I do have pet insurance. I do think it's worth it for Luke. It's not ever in my budget because I think we're having an earthquake. Earthquake! Whoa. This is scary. Oh my God. That was actually really scary because the whole building was moving. And I lived in San Francisco for 5 years for undergrad, and I only experienced one. I remember I experienced one earthquake. We were in the library. I was in the atrium, and I just saw the glass move, and we all just like stared at it, and we just went back to work. It was not a big deal, but that was actually kind of scary. The dogs, aren't you supposed to have like some kind of sense that like earth things are going to happen? They were just asleep the whole time. Anyways, what were you talking about? We're talking about pet health insurance. For Luke, definitely worth it. This is his second major unexpected surgery, so we decided to get pet insurance for him after the first surgery, and it's been really great. They cover yearly exams, shots. We got their anesthesia teeth cleaning that they covered, and then this surgery. So we have nationwide pet insurance. Worth it for a dog like Luke. For a dog like Levi, who has never had a problem, I don't know if it's necessarily worth it, but we just pay for it just in case, because it's really easy for you guys to put aside money for shots, daycare. I mean, daycare is not covered in insurance anyways, but shots, teeth cleaning, yearly checkups, those are all things that you can put in a sinking fund if you think that your dog is relatively healthy. Of course, the pros and cons of health insurance is sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. And of course, the more younger and healthier the dog is, the more you'll probably be eligible to get pet insurance, because the thing about pet insurance is if your dog is unhealthy or has some kind of illness before you apply for the insurance, then you probably won't, you'll probably get denied. So that's the bummer. So this month for student loans, I paid $2,000 towards my loans, which is, as you guys know, the lowest amount I've ever paid in probably a year almost. But my minimum payment, if you guys remember my refinancing video, which I'll put again in the cards, I refinanced to a shorter interest or a small interest rate, but also to a shorter term length. So that's why my monthly payment for student loans is about $1,600. And then I like to add $400 on top of that, just so I have like a nice round number. It's like a mental thing. So I contributed $2,000 this month, but hopefully once I start getting paid more consistently again, I can contribute more towards that and feel comfortable while doing that, versus, I just don't want to throw $5,000 at my student loans and then not get paid for a month and realize that I don't have money for rent. I mean, that's really it. Last month, I actually did stay under budget. Yay. And that's again because I'm scared that I won't get paid. So we have that cushion. We have that, I think it's $3,000 cushion right now in there. So let's just hope that things will start rolling again and I can start throwing money at my loans. I think honestly, I thought I'd be financially for the loans in a very different place now. How much do I have left? Common Bond, that's who I refinanced. I do really like them. Their website is really easy to use and it's really cute. So I would recommend Common Bond for sure. Also with Capital, Capital has been a lifesaver throughout this entire time because remember, I use my Capital app mostly for groceries and food. So I put aside $1,000 every month into my card. So I have that money there. And because I put money aside in the beginning of every month, I didn't have to worry about that because I would just use my Capital debit card for food purchases and stuff, and it was easy to track, and I stayed under budget for my food, which is, you guys know, a struggle, but the Capital app has been a lifesaver, and if you want to know more about that, I'll go ahead and link when I talk about that in the cards. Yeah, so I have $45,462 left in student loans, and that's about $25,000 more that I wanted to be at this point. But you just got to be grateful. Sometimes I forget to be grateful from where I came from because I've just been so in it and I've been knocking things down left and right in terms of debt that sometimes I forget that I never saw myself in this place to where I'm talking about paying off my debt. I thought I would just be living in debt my entire life. And that was less than 2 years ago. I'm just working on gratitude right now, being grateful for every check that I get, being grateful for the place that I am in now that I never saw myself being in. So I think gratitude is something that I really have to work on. And I feel like, especially when you're really frustrated and especially when it's about money, it's hard to feel grateful for things. Like money is very sensitive and it is very easy to get mad when you're not paid on time, when you're not paid enough. But it's always better to be grateful. You need to emit that gratitude into the universe, so then the universe will give you exactly what you need. So every check I get in the mail now, what I do before I deposit it is I kiss it and I thank it. And that might seem a little fruity, but it just reminds me that I need to be grateful for the people who I work with, for the people who get me these jobs, and for my health, for being healthy enough to be able to work. So I guess we'll leave the budget video on that, a nice high note, and I'm hoping next month we'll have more exciting student loan news. All right, I'm Asia Dang. Thanks for watching. Bye.